Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of A Minute in the Matrix. Today, I want to talk about shrooms and shadows, the magic kind and the deep inner work. When you take off that mask, those are the shadows, those darker areas. Not so much focusing and embracing the light, but looking at the parts of you that could use improvement. Those preconditioned, egoic, lower self connections that are part of you. So it would seem on the external, because I've been doing so much inner work and I'm on the spiritual path. And if you've watched the channel, you know I'm a psychedelic explorer. And you don't need to do psychedelics to get something out of this video, maybe gain some knowledge or wisdom. You just need to be curious. I'm not promoting the use of them. I'm just describing my experience. And it might be of value to you. So things seem aligned, like if you were to write them on paper, if you were to collect the data, but energetically, there's just a little something off. And I wanted to explore that deeper because I couldn't quite get my mind to put my finger on it. I couldn't get to what that was. So I do trip deeply, maybe every 6 weeks, or when I feel that I need a good brainwashing, I need some mental hygiene upgrades, energetic upgrades, reconnect to nature, connect to the divine and source. And I have deep questions in my mind that I've been pondering and meditating upon, but I'd really like to go to source, go to the net, to the field, and figure some things out. I'll go there. I've recently been doing a lot of work with Robert Gilbert's teachings. He does a lot of work on sacred geometry, and this is something I connect deeply to. I don't know why. It's all geometric shapes as being the basis of everything, the triangle being the most basic of shapes, and from there, everything in the physical world is created. It's really amazing. You should check that out if that sounds interesting to you. So something was off a little bit. So I'm trying to think of ways. I've been journaling. How can I fix this? Well, I've heard of microdosing, but I've never dabbled with that before. But for the past 3 weeks, I've been trying it. And let me tell you about that experience. So super small doses, and didn't notice anything at first, but maybe a touch more emotional sensitivity. Yesterday was one of the hardest days I've had in a year. From the moment I woke up, I could tell it was a shitty day before I even put my feet on the floor. And usually I take deep breaths, I set an intention, I say a prayer and begin my day. That did not happen yesterday. I had some real moments of needing to just emotional release. I cried. I just let myself cry. I think the microdosing allowed me to be, I know, vulnerable enough and to accept that vulnerable side of me and explore it more. Whereas before, one of the masks that I wear, maybe you can identify with this, I'm just a really disciplined, driven, nonstop, go to the goal. Don't be distracted by shiny objects. Eye on the prize, just always moving and never really taking time for deep rest. What these tiny little doses did for me was stop me from myself so I could be more of myself. So stopping me from my lower egoic self, the things that have been constructed over time as a child and as I turned into an adolescent and grew into an adult, my education, my advanced degrees, all of these things I've constructed to say I am an achiever. I'm the oldest, so birth order plays a role in all of this. And I just started to see that, yeah, I don't really stop. Even though I'm so disciplined, I meditate once or twice a day for about 30 minutes. And that's really the only time I set aside for rest. And that's not really deep rest because a lot of times, unless I'm doing a purely just be, you should watch that video if you haven't seen it on A Minute in the Matrix. I'm usually going into my meditations with an intention. After I slow down my monkey mind, I then start focusing on a problem, or I'll go to source and I'll start thinking about how can I manifest something in my life or change a current situation that isn't in alignment with me anymore. But I'm very busy and the mind is very busy. So really getting that mask peeled back, the emotional release that I felt because I was accessing my true self. I was the observed, observing the observer. So I was my divine consciousness observing myself in this 3D world and everything that was constructed to make my physical body, that creates my thoughts, that creates my habits, that creates the agenda for the day, that creates everything that is in my field, that's attracted, that's come towards me, that I've pushed away from me, all of these things that I've constructed from the field, whether conscious or subconsciously. That was peeled back, and I was just watching myself go. And it was really profound because in this moment when the tears just started flowing, it was like taking the deepest breath of your day. It was the quintessence of a sigh of relief. It really, really, really was an emotional breakthrough. But the beauty of this was it was so subtle. Like it came on so subtly. And I think with the microdose, you are so aligned with the 3D reality. You are so present in the moment and in your video game, your matrix, because you're not so pulled away in another dimension when you would do a deep trip. And that really, really is profound. I didn't think there was much value in microdosing. Like, why would I waste my time? But the value is in the subtlety. So it was a really, really important experience for me. And I wanted to take the time to share some of the wisdom from that moment. And what came was, we're really bound by the laws of society and all of the constraints that are constructed in our 3D world. Sometimes I think about how different this earth could look. Like, what if we just, took the path of the Native Americans, for example, and we decided that that's the way we wanted to live, with spirit, with land, using every part of the animal, living off of the earth, thanking the soil for the gifts, thanking the sun for the light and the heat, thanking the seasons, feeling blessings and connecting to our ancestors in the wind. Like, we could have this magical spiritual life, but we went the other way. So therefore, we are all constrained within this boxed in society. But no one's boxing in our mind. You have power to form your own thoughts, live your best life, connect with nature and other people in the way that you truly want to connect. If you are living in a box, then that's your own box. I've had a hard time with being seen. I feared the judgment of others for a long time. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, because I wanted to get over that, because it was not serving me. And I know this is a small channel, but what's important for me is that the quality of all of you that are actually watching this video are getting on board and understanding that we can shape our future. We are in charge of the present and the here and now. So if there's a person in your life that's just not resonating anymore. It's okay to change that relationship. You're not bound by anything except you creating your own box. If there's a job that's not working out for you, I know it's scary, I know it's hard, but if you really, really want to make a leap, and this is a year 9, so this is when things come to resolution, 2025, you can find that courage within you. You can tap into the fire that already is inside of you. The shape associated with fire is a tetrahedron. It's a triangle, basically, a pyramid. Start meditating on that. If you need fuel for your fire, try that. Just focus on what a pyramid would be looking like, rotating clockwise, and see what that brings up for you. But you've got the power. You are divine consciousness. So I wanted to share this bit with all of you. I hope something resonated. And what a wild ride. The path of spirituality is a practice. Don't forget that. And you fall off. But the whole point is that it's a practice. So you can't get discouraged. Remove discouraged from your vocabulary. But when you do meet something that feels like, ooh, I'm discouraged, what a wonderful thing, because that means you're doing something, right? You're trying. So let's keep going. I hope you have a stellar day and tune into the next episode. I'm still working on the being seen aspect, and I'm going to be getting the music portion started soon. But there are some technical difficulties that I'm gonna work on. But until then, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you soon.